Hi, it's Ellen Gormley. Welcome back to my channel. I don't have a whole lot of time today, but I want to get started on the second version of my first off to college hat. So I'm making hats for Mara for going off to college, and this was the first attempt at it. And I have the middle part here is a linked double crochet or Tunisian style circle, and I talked about maybe remaking this hat in a J size hook because this one is made in an I, and I thought, oh, maybe it needs better drape. But when I chose the final color to remake the hat, I found that this yarn, this is Barocco Vintage, and this one is Cascade Anthem. I discovered that the Barocco Vintage and the Cascade Anthem, though they're both worsted weight, I feel like the Barocco Vintage is slightly thinner. So I'm going to go ahead and stay with the size I hook. And maybe it'll have better drape, just also because this is an animal fiber mixed with acrylic, I believe. I think it's wool and acrylic, but don't quote me because I don't have the label in front of me. And the Anthem is 100% acrylic. So it might have better drape just simply because it's an animal fiber. Anyway, to start out, I'm using a regular hook, and I'm going to place a slip knot on my hook, and I am going to make 12 linked double crochets in a circle. So linked double crochets in a circle, I am chaining 2, and then I'm going to, let's go ahead and chain 3. I'm going to pick up a loop in the back ridge of the second chain, leave it there, and then pick up a loop in the final stitch, yarn over, pull through 1 loop on the hook, pull through 2 loops on the hook, pull through 2 loops on the hook. So you'll recognize this as a Tunisian style beginning. Basically that's 3 stitches of Tunisian simple stitch. Now here with my thumb where next to the slip knot, this is a pivotal spot right there. This final stitch is where I'm going to place all the subsequent stitches. So instead of like working in a row with linked stitches or Tunisian, I'm going to work them all in that corner, which is going to turn into a circle. So I am going to skip the first vertical bar or the first loop there because I have one on the hook. I'm going to pull up a loop in the next vertical bar or yarn over to however you want to look at it, and then pull up a loop in the last stitch next to the slip knot. So this is number 2. Then I'm going to yarn over for the return pass, or yarning over and pulling through 1, yarning over, pulling through 2, yarning over and pulling through 2. So I now have 2 linked stitches in this circle, and I'll keep working in the same spot so that it goes in a circle. So repeating again, pulling up a loop in that vertical bar, pulling up a loop in the last spot there next to the slip knot. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So I'm going to keep doing this all the way around until I get to 12 of them. Pulling up a loop here, pulling up a loop in that spot, yarning over, pulling through 1, yarning over, pulling through 2, and 2. And it's going to make a nice linked double crochet circle, otherwise known as a 3 stitches of Tunisian crochet circle. So it's the same thing. It's just, using different words to describe the same exact process. So this is what it looks like so far. You can count the stitches along the side here to see how many we've done already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to make 12 in here. I would like a multiple of 3 or a sets of 3 an even number of times so that I can get the basket weave pattern that is going to be the body of the hat to turn out correctly. Now this will be for a women's hat. So if you're changing the size of this hat, you'll need to change the beginning number of stitches in sets of 3, and you'll want an even numbered set of 3. So you're going to have to do the math and make sure that it's going to work out. Either that, or you're just going to have like 2 columns on the hat that end up the same when you join. This way it stays alternating all the way around because it's a 6 stitch repeat. Okay, let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I want to get to 12. This is just the part 1 of this hat. I don't know if I will end up doing too much on this hat today. I just want to get started, and since I'm going to be actually making the hat, I thought I should film it and show you how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now that I have 12 linked stitches or 12 Tunisian stitches in the round, I'm going to go ahead and join. I'm going to double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I'm going to slip stitch join in the loop there to form the circle. And I am not turning my rounds. I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, pull up a bar, a loop in the second chain, and then I'm going to pull up a loop in the stitch. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Because it's a circle and I need to increase, I'm going to do that twice in each stitch around. So I'll go from having 12 stitches to having 24. And then I have 2 there, so I'm going to pull up a loop in the vertical bar, pull up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'll put 2 in that same spot because I'm placing 2 in each stitch around, increasing from 12 stitches to 24. Okay, the dog is barking, so I'm just going to continue this process, placing 2 stitches in each stitch all the way around, and I will see you on the next video to work on the next stage. Thanks! Hi there. As I'm finishing up the second part of this video, I wanted to give you a few tips here. I am continuing with the linked double crochet or Tunisian simple stitch crochet in the round for this top of the college hat, the first draft. And so this round I am working on, I want you to also go back and look at my videos on hat math and also how to make a flat circle. Very, very useful videos on my channel for making hats. I'm finishing up with an increase. The increases are spread equally around the circle. And then, okay, so I'm at the end of the round. Now, here's some tips for you. So I know from experience and also from, you can check out the hat math video, that when you want to make a hat the size to fit, this is to fit a woman because Mara's going to get this hat. I know that my flat circle before I start working evenly needs to be about 6 inches. And I know that my hook happens to be about 5.5 inches. So I often use my hook to measure. So right now, this circle is 5.5 inches in diameter, which is approximately right about what I want to start increasing, or working evenly so that I can make the sides of the hat. If you need a bigger hat for a man, looking at my hook, I would say, I think I need to go up another row or 2 before I start working evenly. And then a child's hat would be a little bit smaller. Now hooks change in size depending on the company, but in general, most hooks that I have encountered are between 5.5 inches and 6 inches-ish long. So I know that I'm pretty close to right on track. And so look how gorgeous this circle is turned out though. This is the Tunisian in the round circle, and they're actually linked double crochets worked in the round. And I started out with 12, and then I did 2 stitches in each stitch to make 24. Then I went even 1 stitch, increase in the next to make 36. The following round was 1 stitch, increase by 2, increase to make 48 around the circle. And so now I am at, I think I'm at 60 stitches all the way around. I did not count, but it was 1, 2, 3, and then work 2 in the next stitch is how I worked increases equally spread around. Now, if I'm going to go ahead and work evenly at this point, or maybe on the next row, depending on what size hat you want, what I would do now is join my round, and then I would chain 2, and I'm not really going to count this as a stitch. I am going to just double crochet evenly, 1 for 1, all the way around, and that will make the foundation for the basket weave pattern that is to come. So I'm just double crocheting regular ones, not linked ones, all the way around, because I am going to put front post double crochets around some of them and back post double crochets around the next group. So I don't really want them linked right now because they'll be easier to work in around the post stitches if they're not linked together. So I'm just going to double crochet 1 for 1 all the way around, and then I will check back with you in a moment. So I've gotten all the way around with my regular double crochet, and look, it's already turning into a bowl. And you know from my hat flat circle video that when the edges start to curl up and you start getting a cupping or a bowl, it means you have not enough stitches or too few stitches, and that's because it's turning into a bowl. So if you're trying to make a flat circle, not enough stitches is a problem. But if you're trying to make a hat, it's right on target, and it's exactly what we need, because what is a hat but just a bowl? So we've done the double crochet all the way around, and after I'm done making this hat, I'm going to go ahead and count stitches and write it all down and make it into a pattern for you. So the pattern link will be in the description box below, so you can get all the specifics. So if you've missed some details about exactly how many stitches you're supposed to have per round, don't worry about it. It's in the description below. Yay! Okay, so as we finish up this round of double crochet, we're getting ready to create the basket weave portion of the hat. So I have the hat here, and we've done the rounds, and now we're setting up to begin the basket weave pattern. And so what I'll do is join the round. I'm skipping the chain 2 that was started because I don't really like how that looks, so I'm going to pretend it's just not even there, and join in the top of the first stitch. So now I am going to chain 2. That's going to count as my first back post double crochet. I'm going to back post double crochet around 2 stitches, 1 and then the other. And I want to do little groups of 3. So this sets up our first group of 3, and now I'm going to front post double crochet in each of the next 3. 1, give myself some more slack here. 1, 2, 3. Remember, if you need a slower video on the front post double crochet or the back post double crochet, I have them in my special stitches playlist. So I now have 3 back post double crochets and 3 front post double crochets, and I'm going to keep alternating that sequence all the way around. So 3 back post double crochets, and then 3 front post double crochets. So keep that sequence of 3 and then 3 all the way around, and I will come back when I'm magically advanced to the next section. So here I am at the end of the round, and I've done my alternating sets of 3 front post double crochets and 3 backs all the way around, and I've joined with a slip stitch in the first stitch. And so now we have established the pattern, and we are going to just alternate rows. So I'm going to, again, chain 2 and skip that and pretend it doesn't exist. Back post double crochet around the first stitch. Back post double crochet around the next stitch, because you're doing 2 rows at a time. So so the first round of double crochets doesn't count as the pattern. Then you do front posts in the front posts, back posts in the back posts, front posts in the front posts, back posts in the back posts, all the way around one more time. So there's 2 rows. And then you flop. And then you'll put back posts in the fronts, front posts in the backs, and you'll do that for 2 rows. So it's actually like a 4-row repeat, 2 of this, 2 of that, and then flop. So you're, it makes it into the brick pattern. So I'm still making the front posts in the front posts for one more round, and then the next round I will switch and put back posts in the fronts and the front posts in the backs all the way around. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So right now it just looks like a column of stitches, and then the next round it'll chop it up and make it look like bricks so that it's a basket weave pattern. So let me just advance right on around this round and we'll show you how it's looking. And you can always try your hat on as you go and decide, is that big enough? Is it not big enough? Maybe I'd better make another round, maybe I'd better not. So it's up to you, and it's really only not that big of a deal to rip out a round if you're mistaken and try again. It's not, maybe 10 or 15 minutes worth of time at the most, not a big deal. If you're making the hat for someone who you can't have the recipient try it on, then keep checking your math. Keep measuring across your bucket, knowing that yarn does stretch a little bit, and see if it's doing well. And you can always check out the hat math video, and maybe I should link that in the description below so that you can check yourself as you go. But the written instructions will all be in the pattern that I will put it in the description box. Okay, so let's go ahead and advance this round, and then I'll show you the next. Thanks. The magic of video. I'm finishing up the next round, and let's do a quick recap. Haha, recap, get it? So I've made my crown, and then I did one round of just plain double crochet, and then I did a round where I did front post double crochets and 3, and then back post double crochets 3, and then I did the same exact round again. So I put the front post double crochets around the fronts, the backs around the backs, to create this beginning of the basket weave pattern. So the first round of double crochet is a foundation round. We're not going to repeat that. We're going to repeat rounds 2 and 3, which are the front posts on top of front posts. And then the next 2 rounds are going to be fronts in the backs and backs in the fronts. So we are going to just kind of move it just a little bit. So I'm joining the end of the round with a slip stitch. And this is what the joining looks like. And I'm going to chain 2. And now I'm going to front post double crochet around the back post double crochets for 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Give myself some more yarn. And now around these next front post double crochets, I'm going to back post double crochet around each of them. So back post double crochet, so that'll create the ridge, and that's what is going to make the basket weave effect. If I kept going, stacking fronts post double crochets on top of front post double crochets all the way around, then I would just have columns of stitches. It would look like a really big rib pattern. But because I'm breaking up the rib pattern and changing the sequence so that it's offset like bricks, it's going to look like a basket weave. So now I'm going to do one more round exactly like this one, and then go back to rounds 1 and 2. So you now know the whole pattern, and I'm just going to keep on stitching and then maybe show you a little snippet of what it looks like at the end. And there you'll have the pattern. I'll take suggestions on what this pattern should be called, what this hat pattern should be called. It's for my daughter, Mara, and she's going away to Indiana University this fall, 2019, and they're the Hoosiers. So I could call it the Hoosier hat, I could call it Crimson hat, I could call it, I don't know what else, but you get the idea. So sound off in the comments below what you think this hat should be called, and I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Let me get through several more rounds, and then maybe I'll post a little recap on the end of this video to show you what the hat looks like. All right, happy stitching, friends. Thanks. Bye. Hi all, I'm back a little sooner than I had anticipated, but I really wanted to clarify this for you. So we have, where'd my pen go? Where'd my pen go? There it is. Okay, so we had, when we started making the pattern, we did double crochets. Let me make 6 of them. Okay, so foundation row of the pattern that will not be repeated was all double crochets. And then the next row, we started off with back post double crochet. So we did back post double crochet, back post double crochet for 3. And then we went the other way and did front post double crochet, front post double crochet, front post double crochet. And that was round 1 of the pattern. Round 2 of the pattern was we just put backs in backs, and we did fronts in fronts. So nothing really earth-shattering there. Round 3 is where we changed everything up. So this is where it changes. And this is where we make it offset like bricks. So now we put front post double crochets around the backs and back post double crochets around the fronts. Okay? And then round 4 is really easy because we just do the same stitches on top of each other we had in the previous row. So the same thing you did on the previous row. So really the only one that is like different or that you have to pay attention is round 3. Because these are like, you put this in the foundation row, that's not a big deal. Then you do 2 rounds that are the same. You change it up and move everything over by 3 and put 1 set in the other set, and then you just repeat. So we're going to have a 4-row repeat. So we've got 2 of this, 2 of that, then we'll go back to 2 of this and 2 of that, and we'll alternate these 4 rows for the length of the hat, the height of the hat. So I hope that that helps. And if it doesn't help and it makes you more confused, I apologize. So whether you're a visual person or you're a verbal person, hopefully I have what you need here. Thanks so much. See you later. Bye. And here's the finished hat. So I just finished it off without any special treatment on the trim, on the brim. So there's no edging, and the hat is done. Nice and stretchy and warm. Thanks so much.